Well, good afternoon. My name is Trish Christensen. I'm the President and CEO of the Modesto Chamber of Commerce, and it is just a thrilling opportunity to be here to celebrate 50 great years in this incredible museum. This event is in partnership as well with Mchenry Museum and Historical Society, who bridged us all together to celebrate this as one big entity. So, having so many people come out to participate in the celebration, I am not that powerful. Do I keep going? Okay. So we came together to have an opportunity to invite all of our friends and partners in to be a part of this celebration with us. So with that, I would like to hand it off to Lori Smith.
Can you hear me now? I'll stand over here. Good afternoon and welcome to the Modesto Mchenry Museum. My name is Lori Smith and I'm the Director of Parks, Recreation and Neighborhoods for the City of Modesto. I'd like to start by thanking all of you for joining us to honor and celebrate 50 years of art, history, and community enrichment in this remarkable building that was provided to the city by Stanislaus County. Since its original ribbon cutting on July 4th, 1972, the city has made it a priority to staff, maintain, and provide accessibility to its citizens of the county and sometimes even citizens of the world. So as you've entered this building either for the first time or the 100th time, you might see something new or inspiring that reminds you just what a vibrant community that we're all a part of. We're proud of Modesto's history, and we're proud of the Mchenry Museum. And we're also proud of our next guest, Mayor Sue Zwellman.
Hello and welcome. It's my pleasure to stand before you today and share the history of the Mchenry Museum. Vincent van Gogh once said, "Great things are done by a series of small things brought together." This museum and its success are a wonderful example of dedicated people working together for a common goal. That goal is to share the art and history of our county. In 1912, the Mchenry family gave the city of Modesto the building to use as a public library. During the 1960s, a community organization was formed called the Citizens Culture Center Committee. This group was spearheaded by Heidi Warner. There's a lot of memories here. I'm going to try to not get emotional, but I know many of us remember Heidi. And this committee's mission was to raise funds for a future museum and art center. In 1971, when funds were raised for a new library, the Citizens Cultural Center Committee worked with the City of Modesto to renovate and operate the old library and turn it into what it is today, the Mchenry Museum. The museum contains thousands of historical artifacts and photographs which provide residents, students, and tourists with an important connection to the community's past. The City of Modesto could not do this alone, as we depend on the devotion and care of the Mchenry Museum and Historical Society organization. Their volunteers and docents provide tours, education, and improvements to this space. I want to personally thank you for the fond memories you have given me. When the museum was still a library, my father would bring me here. I have always had, of course, we would go downstairs to the children's library. I'm sure many of you remember that also. I went down just when I first arrived, and it still smells exactly the same. The Mchenry Library was a formative monument to who I am today and developed my love of reading. The Mchenry Museum keeps those memories alive by archiving the history and safeguarding the treasures of the town and region I have always called home. On behalf of the city, I would like to share a certificate, and I would like to ask Vice Mayor David Wright to join me, and Councilmember Rosa Escutia-Brayton from the Modesto City Council. I believe those are our council members that are here today to join me. And David, Seymour, would you like to join us? This is presented to the Mchenry Museum and Historical Society on this day of July 6, 2022. On behalf of the Modesto City Council, I offer our congratulations on the occasion and celebration of your 50th anniversary. We value your commitment and dedication to our community and efforts to preserve our history for future generations. Congratulations. Again, David, thank you for your commitment and time, and I would like to introduce you as the Executive Director, David Seymour.
Thank you, everyone. 50 years ago, when the Mchenry Museum was dedicated, Mayor Lee Davies observed that the emergence of the new museum reflected the spirit of Orville McHenry. The McHenry family donated the library to our great city, and when the library outgrew this building, the vision of one woman made it a celebration of our local history, and that is the late Heidi Warner, the head of the Citizens Cultural Center Committee. Mrs. Warner worked for almost a decade to create a center to celebrate the culture of Stanislaus County. With the help of the City of Modesto and the Stanislaus County Historical Society, her dreams became a reality. In 1987, the Citizens Cultural Center Committee and the Stanislaus County Historical Society merged into the Mchenry Museum and Historical Society. The Mchenry Museum and Historical Society has been a support system for this building for the past 35 years. We work with the city to preserve our history. We could not do this without our city staff, which included Mrs. Warner, Wayne Mathis, and now Laura Mesa, who's dedicated over 20 years of her life to this building. Give a round of applause for her. And also, I don't think she's here tonight, our wonderful #1 volunteer, our archivist, Janet Lancaster, who spent for 55 days in the basement, organizing and preserving photographs and historical data. Our docents keep us open. A round of applause for all our docents in the room. We would like to move forward toward the next 50 years with hopes of making our history more available to the public through digitization and community efforts. We encourage all of you to become a member. We have forms that someone in the bookstore. Become a member and help us toward our future goals. It seems fitting today to have both Lois Belt and Susan Bell-Hyde and John Metzinger here to cut a ribbon to dedicate the next 50 years of this building as their parents were here 50 years ago, July 4th, 1972. To quote Richard Belt, "It is difficult to imagine a more suitable setting to dedicate a permanent place to preserve the past in a way that is more nourishing toward the future." It's on to the next 50 years. And tonight, we're alive again. After this pandemic, we're alive. We have, like we did in the old days, we have two wonderful authors here to sign books. One of them are all here from the coast. She'd like to say hello. Her name is Gwendolyn Van Ronen. She wrote the Peace Rebellion. You go say hello. And you can read her.
Thank you very much for including me in this amazing celebration and 50 years of this incredible museum. I've written a book that is set in 1947 in the Modesto area, and I am a novelist. I have like over 30 books in print. Some have been turned into movies. And when people ask me why did I set a book in the Central Valley, it's because my mother-in-law and my father-in-law grew up in this area, and they worked in the canning industry and the canning sheds. And my husband was born right here in Modesto. And so I became curious about the history of the area, and it turned into this novel, which will set you back into the past. And it's about 3 teens from this area who bridge social differences and economic differences to come together to create a change in their community. And it's a book from my heart, and it's also a book from like the history of my family. And it is a novel, so it is all fiction. You may see yourself in there, you may see your grandparents in it, but I hope that you will enjoy this as summer read, as I've heard a lot of people have been talking about. And who knows, maybe I'll be back in a few years. There's a script being written for it, so maybe I'll be back for another visit. So thank you very much for including me.
Okay, sorry, I'm not used to that. So we're going to go into some presentations one by one. I will share a couple of stories of my own that I thought of standing here when Mayor made a reference to, and it still smells the same. I think the first time I was here was probably about 30 years ago with my son, and it's like Cub Scout troop, a whole bunch of little guys running around. We've been here, I'm on the Boys and Girls Club board, so we've done the Haunted Mansion here. Such a fun experience to do that here. So we've been here throughout time. We have a close family friend that had a whole collection of family downstairs there for a while. So a lot of great stories and memories here. So we're going to start with some presentations. I'm going to first invite up a representative from Senator Borges' office.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jacob Boulder. On behalf of Senator Borges, I would just like to congratulate you on your 50th anniversary. This is a momentous occasion. The Mchenry Museum and Historical Society has been an integral part of Modesto and its history. It's a great honor to recognize the important contributions that Mchenry Museum has added to the heritage and culture of Modesto. Thank you for all that you've done to help our community remember who we are and where we've come from, and I wish you great success in the future. Congratulations. Thank you.
Testing Virginia.
You're looking at the video camera, so I'm going to give you a sign.
Okay, right here on 3.
There you go. And representative from Congressman Carter's office. No, okay, they didn't make it yet. And Assemblyman Flora, I saw you. Come on up.
Well, this is such a great event, and it's absolutely a privilege to be here. And growing up in the city of Modesto, born and raised in the west side of Stanislaus County, like there is nothing more important than teaching the history of our area. I think for so many generations that gets lost. My great-grandparents came here in the 20s and started meat locker on the west side of Modesto. And so Modesto has always been home. And so it's such an honor to, if you told me a decade ago that I'd be in Sacramento representing all of you, I said, you're out of your minds. But it's an absolute honor to represent the hometown, to represent all of you. It's a privilege to be here today. So on behalf of the state of California, certainly my office, just want to say congratulations to the society on your 50 years, and just a privilege and an honor to be here in this incredible building once again. So thank you for everybody to keep this memory alive for all of our kids in the future. So thank you so much.
And I know I've seen at least 2 supervisors, Supervisor Grewell and, where'd he go? In the back. Come on up, please, with row.
You dressed up nicer. Okay. Well, first, it's an honor for us to be here today on behalf of the Stanislaus County Board of Supervisors. We just want to congratulate the Mchenry Museum on what they've accomplished here over the years. I wish I had some stories like Sue about my dad coming. I have stories about being kicked out of here for making too much noise. But you know, how important this is for us to honor and to preserve our heritage, right? I mean, We see so much nowadays throughout our country that we seem to tear down things. We seem to not want to remember certain things, but our history is so important to us, good and bad, right? Whether it's good part of our history or the bad part of history, we need to preserve these things. And this building, the architecture on this building is just unbelievable. Every time I come here, every time I walk by this, which is practically daily, I just am amazed at what a neat spot this is. And you know, as you travel across the country, you travel around the world, I mean, this is something that could stand toe to toe with a lot of stuff out there in this world. And so we all need to be very proud of this and really honor what we have here and preserve it. I also want to just put a shout out to all the docents and all the people that have been involved in preserving this and maintaining it every day. I see my office is over here right next to the mansion, and back and forth all day long I see these people that are just giving a chunk of their lives to help preserve the mansion, preserve the museum, and to take care of these things. And it's just, my hat goes off, and I just want to applaud everybody who's been involved in this. So we have a certificate here on behalf of the Board of Supervisors. I don't know if we need to read this, but we just, we're very honored to be a part of this today, myself and Manny, and on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, congratulations to everybody who's been involved, and we hope for another 50 years. Thank you.
Congratulations. Finally got a picture with Chance. This is awesome.
Okay, here on 3. Manny? On 3, yeah.
Was I just short one in that picture?
Okay, we've had one more representative join us. Could I have a representative from Senator Eggman's office, please?
I'm only 5'5", so I'll bring it down a little bit. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very honored to be here with all of you on this very auspicious occasion. 50 years in the community, preserving history, preserving stories. I've met Maureen, who's got a beautiful book. I've already chatted with my favorite new docent, Patty, about all of the activities and history in the library and all of the wonderful memories here. Your state senator, Susan Talamantes Eggman, grew up in Turlock. Part of the history that you have back here with irrigation, her father is came to California during the Dust Bowl era. Susan's mother came from Mexico doing migrant irrigation work. So their families have history here, and it's wonderful to see some of that history commemorated with all of the stories and storyboards you have here in town. So with that, I know that I handed out a certificate earlier, I think to David,
Yes.
when I first arrived. But just to say thank you all so much, congratulations, and here's to another 50 years.
And on.
David's going to share a couple things with you before we do the final presentation.
I'm back. What I mentioned in my speech, but I'd like to reiterate, is the fact that who was standing on these steps 50 years ago? Mayor Davies and his wife Grace had no children of their own. Then we had future Mayor Peggy Metzinger, and her son John is with us tonight. We had the immediate past president of the Stanislaus County Historical Society, Richard Belt, and his daughters, Lois Belt and Susan Belt Hyatt, are here tonight. Now, Heidi Warner's family is very much aware. There's not many left, but in the bookstore, I do have Heidi's scrapbook from the 7 years she was trying to get this building turned into a museum with all of her clippings and photographs. So it's a wonderful night. Really quickly, I want to thank everyone that helped with tonight. I mean, there's so many names that aren't going to come to me, so I would just like to thank my immediate world. Thank you so much.
Okay, before we do the final, I will share one detail with you now because there's a lot of people here. When we're done, we're going to ask everyone to please funnel out onto the staircase. We're going to get a big group picture, and we're going to put the Bell sisters right in front with him. And yes, and John right here. And then Mayor would join with David. So work with us on that. Patience would be appreciated to move everyone out. So with that, I would like to go into our last couple of presentations here. So on behalf of the Modesto Chamber of Commerce, we give special recognition to the Mchenry Museum and Historical Society in grateful appreciation of your 50 years of outstanding dedication and service to the Modesto community. This is also to City of Modesto for supporting the effort and the work that's going on here. So I'll hand you that. And we will add a new plaque to this in honor of the 50th anniversary and your chamber membership with us, a new plaque to dedicate your walls. So congratulations.
And right here, right? I saw that. Thank you.
Okay, please work on outside with us and then come back in to socialize. Thank you.
Good enough.
Are we queuing? Who's queuing?
Go ahead and look toward him first, okay?
Okay, here on 3.
3.
What?
Got it? You good? We're good.
Okay, now over here, folks, please. Grant. We got somebody going in there. All right, guys, 3, 2, 1. Can I do that again? And 3, 2, 1. Get a couple more here, folks. All right, 3, 2, 1. And one more. 3, 2, 1. Biggest smiles here. All right, thank you. Hold on.
Where they go now?
Oh, they're
Green. Is
they
it green?
actually want to, no, we don't have,
Who's going to post?
we
What?
have a capital red one, and we have one. So they want to actually have it.
Oh. Oh, yeah, there's a better video. They saw it.
Hey, here we go.
Ready?
Congratulations.